Okay, para sa tatlo, apat naming listeners there. That magre-record kami ng live today. Kaso, karoon na naman ng full lockdown ang New South Wales, Greater Sydney. Merong kumakalat na Delta strain and pataas yung cases namin. So, right now, balik remote muna kami.
Sayang yung sinigang siguro na baka yun.
Minsana na lang bumisita, hindi pa natuloy. Opportunity sana natin makapag-record. Madalas naman lang
ng live,
face to face. Anyway, it is what it is.
Kumusta naman? Ilan ba? Kahapon, di ba? Lockdown started yesterday, 6 p.m.
Yeah, yesterday. Dapat meron akong half marathon for today na hindi natuloy.
Meron ka pang another 2 weeks to prepare.
Hindi, cancel na for next year.
Oh!
Next year na ulit. Kasi 2 beses na yatang na-cancel this year. So, hindi na siya natuloy. Tumakbo na lang ako ng sarili kong half marathon this morning.
Sayang. Yeah. Saan ba usually ginaganap pang half marathon? Sa bridge pa din?
Well, yung SMH specifically, parang yung mga key area or tourist spots around Sydney. So, dadaan ka talaga ng Opera House, dadaan ka ng, I'm not sure kung dadaan ka ng bridge konti. Pero, yun nga, so lahat ng magagandang zones ng Sydney ang tatakbuhan mo. Sayang. And it's my first attempt at running in an event.
Where did that where was it supposed to end yung marathon? Which place?
Macquarie Park.
Macquarie Park. Okay.
Yeah. Start ng Martin Place, paikot, and then mag-end up sa Macquarie Park.
Si Crisel ba dapat sasama sa'yo? Ikaw lang mo.
Gusto niyang tumakbo, kaya lang walang magbabantay dun sa 2 bata . So, ako lang.
May time na kayo next year. 2 na kayo kasi medyo malalaki na yung mga kids mo.
Depende. Sana. Yun nga yung pinag-uusapan namin . Pag may dumating ulit na galing Pilipinas, siguro makakatakbo kami ng sabay for once. Pero
okay, sayang so for those listening, New South Wales did a 2 week or 14 days lockdown.
14 days lockdown. Full lockdown. Stay at home orders and nakita mo ba yung post ko?
Hindi pa.
No singing and dancing daw. So wala tayong pampalipas oras.
Wala. Bawal na naman kumanta sa New South Wales. Talaga si Tita Gladys.
Ano bang masasabi mo dyan? Parang sa akin medyo delayed yung announcement.
Delayed.
Yun yung para sa akin.
Ano ang threshold mo para mag-lockdown? Ilang cases?
I think yung unang spike pa lang o yung report pa lang nung Bondi cluster, at least kasi capable ka namang mag-lockdown nung local government areas, di ba? So ginawa nila yun bago full Greater Sydney lockdown is specific LGAs or specific local government areas. Nilockdown nila. Dapat early on ginawa na nila yun doon pa lang. Para at least medyo na-isolate na ng konti. And then kung kailangan mo ng greater lockdown, madali kang makaka-react. Feeling ko dapat nung sulputan pa lang yung Delta strain na cases. And then alam naman nila na yung driver, di ba? Yung isang
limousine driver.
Yeah,
limousine driver ng like hotel? Hotel
or airlines yata, I think.
Airlines.
Pero naghahatid nga siya to hotels, I think. Pero yun nga, yung movement ng tao na yun is napaka-critical in the spread. So, para sa akin, dapat siguro they did it earlier.
Hirap pa din ang local, ang state government to figure out talaga yung part na yan.
When to lockdown.
Yung lockdowns and stuff. I think they did well nung last time. Natatanda mo, a few months ago, nag-lockdown sila ng Northern Shore, di ba? Parang ganun yung medyo semi-ganto rin to eh. Parang medyo mas malaki, greater area yung lockdown. I think they did well doon. I agree na they should have been a little bit more
stringent.
Yeah, stringent do sa possibly nahihirapan din kasi ewan ko sa iyo pag yung mga tao ngayon medyo na rin medyo dito kasi sa Australia hindi ganun ka delikado. Medyo yung mga tao medyo naglalax na ng konti rin. Like example, kahit yung mga contact tracing, yung mga ganyan. So siguro from their end, baka nahihirapan din sila talaga to figure out. Plus,
measure kung
kailan, kung anong threshold. Tapos plus yung na parang if you consistently do lockdowns, definitely economy and everything talagang affected.
Suffer yung economy talaga.
Ang hirap din ng balancing act eh. No?
Yeah, which is understandable. Yeah. Madaling mag-comment when you're looking from the outside. Ito na sinabi natin, medyo delayed. Pero kung isipin mo nga, parang in hindsight, they should have did it a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Especially itong strain. Ano mo pa ba ang India na nasusubaybayan mo pa nangyayari sa India? Are they parang may nakita ko ng isang beses parang third wave na nila or something. Meron na naman silang
meron akong isang previous office mate na namatay yung mother niya. So kinailangan niyang umuwi. This was before the Delta strain. Ngayon hindi na makalabas.
Nasa India na yun.
That was months ago. So hanggang ngayon hindi pa yata nakakauwi. So parang hindi pa nila na-handle ng maayos sa India.
Wala rin yan. Vaccinations and everything hindi pa rin.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chart. Yung chart nila, nag-spike sila nung May, pero ngayon bumababa na yata ulit sila. New cases nila.
Bumababa na ulit.
Bumababa.
Naniniwala ka ba sa herd immunity? Or
yeah, pero I think yung mahirap nga talaga rin is yung balance eh. Parang kung herd immunity gaano katagal. Tsaka gaano katagal tayo din sa bubble na yon.
And diba? how much do you sacrifice to get that immunity? Siyempre,
how many people are you willing to lose? So, yun nga. Kung isipin mo, sa atin, nagre-react na tayo ng ganito. 30 new cases or 22 new cases. Which is understandable kasi few months ago, almost zero na tayo eh. And then ganito na naman.
Yeah.
Pero kung isipin mo in comparison with other places.
Third world.
Parang 30 is it's negligible number.
I'm looking at the yung sa report nila as of June 27, 30 new local cases. Pero New South Wales lang to dalawang overseas 32 new total cases. I was surprised dito sa bit na to nung pinag-usapan namin ni Pat kanina. So since January 25, 2020, 5,500 cases lang pala ang New South Wales up to today. Cases total cases. 6,700,000 tests.
Which is they're doing well.
Yeah, I think they're doing well.
Pero yun nga, hindi mo rin kasi di ba? Parang tingnan mo yung nangyari sa US or doon sa mga area na naging complacent sila. Talagang kumbaga hirap na hirap silang kontrolin. Tayo, maliit lang yung cases and I think the reaction is suited for it. Kasi kung hindi, malamang mag-suffer din tayo ngayon. Baka hanggang ngayon, nag-flip-flop pa rin tayo between lockdowns and opening up. So,
yeah. And yun nga, mas madaling kontrolin yung Australia in terms of yung incoming, outgoing ng mga tao. Kasi nga, isolated tayo. I was just thinking kanina, yung India, ngayon meron sa South Africa, di ba? Sa South Africa, meron din ngayong mga wave. just because it's a, continent madaling kumilos yung mga tao, madaling, mag-salin-salin. Dito sa atin, it's entirely different. Sarado mo lang yung 6 o 7 airport, okay, ganun. Wala ka nang naintindihan.
Tsaka mababa lang yung population natin. Parang madaling kontrolin yung mga tao. Imagine mo pag sa Pilipinas ka, nakatira ka sa compound. Isa lang doon tamaan, parang talagang ang bilis na ng effect.
Oo, tama. Ano bang hindi sa tingin mong hindi ginagawang tama pa rin I understand kanina sinag-usapan natin yung government, parang okay naman sila since the beginning ng pandemic hanggang ngayon. Is there any improvement na sa tingin mo na they need to, yung sinabi mo kanina, probably they would have to react a little bit quicker, if they are going to lockdown, be a bit more decisive pagdating sa lockdown.
Pero yun nga, judgment call din yan Parang sabi mo nga, madaling magbigay ng opinion looking from the outside. Pero hindi mo naman alam gaano ka talaga ka. Kasi yung lockdown, hindi naman natin alam gaano kalaking effect kagad sa economy yung isang araw or 2 days of lockdown. This is 14 days. So syempre na-anticipate din nila siguro. And then nag-promise naman sila ng support dun sa mga maapektuhan yata immediately. So feeling ko they could have reacted faster, but baka hindi rin possible siguro without looking at anong implication and then ano yung next course of action after mag-lockdown.
May point ka when you said, it's always easier to say things, if you're looking from the outside. Parang ganun. Pero I can just imagine, like for example, ako running my own, business, parang ganun. Sometimes it's kind of easy. Pag minsan nakikita ko na ganun, dapat ganito ginawa, dapat ginawa naman ganyan. Pero, having everything considered, yung tipong sa New South Wales, balancing act ng babagsak yung economy versus yung safety ng tao versus yung mga taong makukulit versus yung police, yung mga risk din nila and everything. Mahirap talagang, just to say yes or no. Pero meron akong may comment ako dyan sa and this is probably part of yun sa tingin ko, they should have had this parang the first few months pa lang. I've always said this to Pat, sabi ko sa kanya, I think yung local government or yung Australia as a whole, we should have had parang a common warning system na by this time. For example, parang yung code system. Like example, if it's a code ganito, code red, code green, code yellow, parang local lockdown. Alam na ng tao what to expect. At the moment, ang nangyayari every time every time na merong announcement, we have to listen in. Ano yung mga pwede, hindi pwedeng gawin. Ay, pwede yung ganito ngayon, pero last time hindi pwede, and stuff like that. So, yun siguro isang comment ko lang. Parang, a standardized parang warning. Kasi this is gonna be with us for quite some time. Parang ganun lang. Para mas madali sa akin intindihin Parang, okay, yellow ngayon or something. I'm just saying na parang kulay, pero simplifying it, pero at least a standardized na everyone knows what it means, parang gano'n. That's one of the things.
Siguro kasi baka hindi nila nakikita na long term tong ganitong situation siguro.
Interesting.
Baka pag by the time na siguro ma-vaccinate na lahat, siguro hindi na nila naiisip yun, which is a bad thing kung ganun yung mindset kasi regardless paano pag nagkaroon na naman ng another outbreak, at least meron tayong chart or table ba it's code yellow, okay, ano yung pwede natin gawin, which is
and madaling
hindi naman mahirap gawin siguro.
Oo, madaling implement, diba, sa eskwela, sa mga bata. Alam mo yon, dati parang ganun na
earthquake level.
Kasi tayo doon no? Parang sa Pilipinas may mga ganyan tayo mga earthquake, mga ganyan. O kaya yung sa atin sa Philippines, for some of the people in Australia, yung meron tayong mga signal, mga storm, yung mga ganyan. So, alam mo na, pag signal number 3 and, above, definitely college level, yung mga ganyan, wala nang pasok.
Cancel ang school, bawal lumabas.
Siguro, coming from that, baka yun yung naiisip ko ba? Parang, yung sa vaccination, ano bang... So, ako, I think ako wala pang schedule, si Pat meron ng schedule. Pero, meron akong nakikitang mga reaction ng tao ngayon wherein yung sa vaccination na yung mga vaccinated na they are actually calling for yung lockdowns to be implemented doon sa non-vaccinated, unvaccinated people. Yung may mga ganung calls ngayon. What do you think about that?
Di yan parang everyone on this together. Hindi porket na-vaccinate ka na is. Kasi hindi mo naman talaga alam kung parang wala pa namang proof or study na you can't catch it twice. Or if you do, ano ba yung magiging effect? Or, parang it's better to err on the safe side, 'di ba? So hindi ako agree na porke na vaccinate ka, pwede ka nang lumabas ng nakahubad sa kalit, wala ka nang pakialam. Yeah.
Ang sa side ko naman, I also agree na ako from a side na parang it's very complex. How would you how would you implement it? Parang parang meron ka bang parang sabi nga ni Pat kanina, parang botohan sa Pilipinas pag may indelible ink ka dito sa isang vaccinated ka.
Tapos ang majority ng population pa ayaw nila ng government control. The only way that the government will be able to track that is through control. And ayaw natin nun. Well, karamihan ayaw ng ganon.
Yeah, personally ako, I'd rather have control of my own, yung sa health ko, sa safety ko, I'd rather not have the government Pero medyo mahirap na medyo Norwegian territory na yung sinasabi nila government, yung hindi mo pwedeng reaction to things parang for me parang.
Well, I think yung generation din kasi parang feeling ko naman way before pa meron level of control talaga yung government. Parang ngayon masyado lang pinopromote yung privacy and all of those things. So, isipin mo naman, wala naman din pakialam yung mga tao. Post din naman sila ng post ng kung ano-ano sa social media. So, gusto nila ng privacy pero lahat na lang kalit-litang bagay ipopost mo sa social media. So,
maganda yung sinabi mo, so yung privacy and stuff. I remember yung first few months nung nilabas yung COVID app. Privacy was a big thing. Tatandaan mo yun, yung parang kasi of course if it's an app, mas madali sana kontrolin na yung tingnan na yung location mo and stuff like that, at least man lang, di ba? Pero a lot of people were crying for, lalo na rin sa Australia, privacy. Totoo nga yung sinasabi mo, pero lahat naman nasa Facebook, lahat naman nasa Instagram, para namang hindi ginagamit.
Post na kung ano-ano.
Oo, diba? Tapos parang yun nga yung mga taong hindi aware sa technology. Parang they are actually tracking you. So when you install these apps, when you buy the phone, these are tracked yung mga activities mo. So it's just weird na.
So tingin mo bakit ka nakaka-receive ng random email about something or about a promotion? Kasi information mo is out there. So,
ang favorite ko dyan yung parang yung mga biglang sa Facebook, may nagpo-post ng porn yung mga tao, parang hindi ako yan, maybe you are actually visiting porn.
May kinlik ka somewhere na nag-lead dyan sa situation mo na yan.
Yep.
So
yes, definitely yan, alam natin yung part na yan na trabaho natin
mahirap
yan.
Well, kasi tulad ko, diba, sa advertising ako and then marketing, communications and all of that. Tracking your movement online, yung mga binrowse mo, yun yung mga importanteng information. Hindi ako entirely against siguro dun sa kumbaga sa targeted ads. Kasi kung isipin mo naman, it's within your interest. And yung information na kinukuha naman sa'yo is just enough to feed that interest. Siguro maraming magko-comment kung makarinig man ito. Pero would you rather receive random ads or ads na you think you'll be interested in.
Mm.
Pero napanood ba yung sa Netflix, yung kalimutan ko na yung pangalan ng documentary about how they're shaping you or how they're controlling you through social media.
Yeah, I might have yeah.
Na gina-guide ka nila. So parang yun yung isang downside. I'm not saying I'm fully against targeted ads, pero nangyayari ngayon parang marginalized tayo, parang in a box. Hindi ka na maka-explore outside. Parang pag tinignan mo yung YouTube feed mo and yung suggested videos mo, napaka concentrated na within that certain topics na inikutan mo. Hindi ka na maka-explore ng something else kasi
may nakita kong similar na ganyan, even yung alam mo naman yung polarizing condition ng politics din ngayon, di ba? Parang yung difference ng left and right and stuff like that. May nabasa akong similar na parang if your social media figures out that you are on a side, they usually don't serve you the other side, which is really ewan ko,
or against sa other side yung pinipidin sa'yo. So nangyayari tuloy is natitrain yung utak mo na stick to one side. Hindi ka na pwedeng maging center ngayon eh.
Nahirap ka maging center because yung lahat ng kinoconsume ng utak mo ngayon is either left or right. So, yun. For example, ang tinitrain sa mga tao is to be in their own bubble. Kasi because of yung mga concepts about safe space, yung mga ganyan ngayon, hindi ka na pwedeng makarinig ng something that will trigger people. So, nilalayo ka nila doon sa tingin nila na offensive para sa'yo, which is parang the only way for you, really, in the past, gano'n naman palagi, di ba? The best way to do about is for you to hear everything and then for you to decide which one you like.
Yeah.
Parang
you need to hear all sides.
Yeah.
Hindi kasi ang isa pang problema kaya naging ganun din yung model siguro is parang if you're on one side, immediately dismissive ka sa lahat on the other side eh. Parang dapat
ang sabi nga nila parang pag meron ka ng kulala lang sa political belief, you're probably not gonna be convinced anymore to look at someone else's point of view.
Parang feeling ko nga, hindi ko alam kung ano yung history behind having two sides sa politics eh. Kasi sa Pilipinas wala naman tayo niyan eh, di ba?
Well, ngayon meron na.
Well, Dilawan and alam mo.
Duterte.
Well, actually, kung isipin mo, Marcos era pa yan eh. It's Dilaw or pula ka eh, di ba? Pag Marcos is red. And then
I think mas madali kasi siguro historically, mas madali sa tao yung meron lang dalawang options to choose. It's yes or no, black or white, parang ganun. So,
pero
hindi natin i-entertain yung idea ng parang multi-partisan party system na like example sa iyo, si Kanye West is a ruling party. Parang dismissive na.
Diba? Parang napanood ba yung kay David Letterman kay Kanye West na sinabi niya tatakbo ba siya? Tapos parang tinanong siya kung bumuboto ka ba? Sagot niya hindi. Na-highlight how stupid that idea was.
Going back to dun sa yung shaping mindsets and stuff, yung privacy and stuff. Kaya tuloy going back, naisip ko yung sa COVID app nun. Parang I didn't really, when that was a conversation back then, parang I didn't mind, parang track nyo na lang kung saan ako, and then the app would automatically just log me off. And it's, yung convenience from my end, na parang kung wala naman akong, hindi naman ako nagpupunta sa brothel o sa di ba? Wala naman akong problema, then just track and then just map me out. As long as, siguro, hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yung information ko in the public. Siguro, I mean, that's the compromise, di ba? Pero, if you're just small red dots on a system, kasi alam naman natin how it works, di ba? Parang, in a way, parang sige.
I-mask ka, di ba? Parang, ang problema kasi dun sa app is, kumbaga may PII ka, may personally identifiable information ka na stored dun sa app. Dapat yun, I mean, siguro sasabihin nila, it's encrypted naman yan, blah, blah, blah. So, hindi mo pwedeng makita basta-basta. Let's say na ganun yung scenario, dapat hayaan na nga lang nila na auto-check-in na lang. Kumbaga may fencing ka na lang sa bawat area. Na pag pumasok ako sa area na to, alam mo na merong pumasok sa area na to. And then, at that point in time, pwede mong kontakin kaagad lahat ng pumasok on that area. Problema natin is manual QR pa rin tayo.
Ang weird nawiwirdohan ako dun sa part na yun, lalo na nung una. Actually, binago na nga nila yun. Natatandaan mo yung unang version ng app na you have to manually log off dun sa lugar, di ba? So, most of the time, you forget. Kasi papasok ka sa shop, sandali ka lang, 15 seconds ka sa shop, labas ka na. Tapos, the time that you check in the next day sa isang venue, naka-check-in ka pa din doon sa... Di ba? Walang logic.
Wala naman nagla-log out eh. Ako, kahit kailan hindi ako yung, kailangan ko mag-log out.
Ang sa amin, sabi ko kay Pat na parang walang masyadong AI to na parang, kunyari, if you check in into a restaurant, diba? Ano bang maximum time that you will spend in a restaurant? At least man lang, at least merong prompt na parang, are you still in this venue o kaya yung parang something like that. Kasi definitely, no one uses it to log out. Ginagamit ng tao because dun sa pinto, tinatanong ka na parang, you have to check in. Kasi ganun kakulit ang tao minsan.
Pero kung may geofencing ka na automatic, hindi mo na kailangan gawin. And then, measure mo pa talaga accurately gaano katagal ka ba dun.
Yeah.
O kung may overlap ka ba talaga dun sa taong pumasok at that point in time. Di ba?
Ang kaganda pa ng geofencing, pwede mo pang di ba? Parang gawin mo pang variable yung
lawakan mo or late. Hindi, tsaka marami ka ng spots at least alam mo talaga. Madaling mag-pinpoint. Pero yun nga, parang battery drain din yata yun eh.
Ano?
Battery drain din siguro yun kung palagi mo na lang palaging bukas yung location services mo, di ba?
Yeah. I mean, yung sa Pilipinas din, yung paggamit nila ng apps, di ba? Isa rin sa issue na I think technology would really, for my end, I think technology would really play a big part moving forward.
Dapat ba merong single government app na multi-purpose sa tingin mo para hindi lang on COVID situations, di ba? Parang imagine mo bushfire. Nasa long drive ka and then nandun ka sa ibang area na yon. Government warning. Alright, iping nyo lahat ng around that bushfire area or somewhere close and pwede kong ilaso kung sino-sino yung mga nandun dun sa area na to say, avoid this, blah, 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 and then immediately get that message. Diba?
Meron kaming isang client na ganyan. Send ko sa inyo yung, i-post ko rito yung link dun sa description. Ang tawag sa kanya, Ready App. Ginawa namin for this client. Na ganon, parang disaster management na app. Na parang for bushfire, yung mga for accidents on the road and stuff like that. Pero yun nga, kung ang tanong is, should there be one? I don't think that's a good idea na may isa palagi. I think okay sa akin yung data is shared across and then you'd have parang multiple platforms. Kasi I'm just thinking yung repository ng lahat ng information ng tao, in one location, parang asking for trouble, ewan ko sa akin dun sa part na yun.
Blockchain, decentralized. Gaya mo yung style ng cryptocurrency. So, I think kung ganun yung model, at least parang ledger style. Everyone has a copy of that information but no one owns the copy of that information. Siguro kung magagawa mo siya na blockchain model, baka pwede, baka mag-work. And then, kung encrypted naman palagi yung lines, then siguro it's safe enough. I think kung gagawa ka ng isang generic na tracking application, which is mobile phone anyway, and it's up to you. It's still your choice. Kung ayaw mong i-track ka nung application na yun, just remove it from location services. Pwede mo naman gawin yun.
Yeah.
But then you don't get that benefit. So, I mean, ibabalik mo rin dun sa user yung choice eh. Yung pag-balance ng choice eh. Ayaw mo ba na malaman ng government kung nasan ka kahit anonymously? O and then but not receive any warning kung in case of any disasters or tulad nitong COVID lockdown. So it's up to you kung paano mo gusto i-manage yung information na yun siguro. I think there's a way. I think darating yung time na, especially thinking way far ahead, pag nagkaroon na ng quantum computing and then iba na yung encryption, iba na rin yung speed, and maybe something like that would work. Just as long as it's anonymous. Parang you're a random unique ID. Hindi ka si Jomwell Manangkil or hindi ka si Badong na pwede kitang i-identify. But at least get the information on time. So, it can work.
Yung sa, I think yun yung mga kulang ng mga applications ng government. Customization ng, if privacy is an issue, just give the user yung capability to customize kung anong level of privacy yung pwedeng I think dapat lahat. Hindi ko alam, pero kunyari nakuha naman ng social media yan eh. Natatandaan mo yung mga, dati talagang walang control over privacy, pero ngayon because nasilip sila yung mga big tech, yung mga big social media, meron pa sila. So I think the government needs to look into something, yung investing in something like that pagdating sa mga applications.
Pero I think it's feasible. Parang ang way lang talaga ron is to explain dun sa user or explain mo sa general population exactly in layman's term ano yung ginagawa namin sa information nyo. Kaya ka ba namin i-identify specifically or hindi, which is possible din na hindi ka naman ma-identify, di ba? So
paminsan nga pag yung mga napapanood ko yung mga question and answer sometimes ng mga politicians versus yung mga technologies, yung mga stupid mga questions na yung mga tipong, am I being tracked? Yung mga ganyan. Sa labi ko parang ang hirap i-explain ng technology lalo na sa politician, to be honest, kaya hindi rin natin ma-implement na maayos pagdating sa mga ganyan. Hindi.
Well, may certain level of arrogance din kasi na parang self-centered eh. Parang you think you're special na
parang diba out
ikaw
of 6 million people
na yung government behind the scenes may headphones, pinapakinggan lahat ng conversation mo, chine-check lahat ng binabrowse mo. So alam mo yun, merong ganong level of arrogance na sa tingin mo binabantayan ng government lahat ng movement mo. In reality, wala naman silang pakialam sa majority ng population.
In reality, they might be listening, but they're actually listening for something else. Like for example, a keyword or a browsing behavior. And then they can use your name. Definitely, they know the name, but they don't really at this stage. Siguro 10 years down the line, 15,000 down the line, medyo iba lang usap siguro to. This might not work anymore. Pero at this time, yung resources for the government to track si Jomwell. Alam mo yun, parang why spend that amount of resources just to track what I'm doing? So, yung
unless
computing,
you're a risk.
Yeah.
Diba?
Which is ewan ko parang which is okay lang naman sa again, hindi ako yun. I'm not a terrorist or I'm not, those kinds of people. Pero, which is okay. Parang for me, to keep me safe, di ba? I'd rather have them spy on, risk yung mga tao. Kaya yung mga Yung mga ganun.
I think, parang question nila about the price of, like, yung, ano ba yung i-accept ng majority ng population for them to be safe? Parang willing ka ba na i-track namin kayong lahat for a possible 0.1, 0.01% of being a threat to your safety? So,
hindi pa nga tayo lumalabas hindi pa nga tayo lumalabas ng overseas, lalo na yan kapag after a year, a couple of years, medyo umaano ka na, would you rather be tracked outside of, ang pinag-iusapan lang natin dito mula bahay hanggang Aldi. Di ba? Diyos ko.
Pero ewan ko, kasi maraming arguments around it Parang minsan mako-convince ka rin na I want my privacy, or I want this and that, and I don't want government to have all my information. Pero kung isipin mo is, siguro it speaks more about the trust in the government than the actual act of being tracked. Parang kung wala ka tiwala siguro talaga sa government is hindi mo talaga i-accept yung ganong ka-drastic na solution.
And yun, definitely yung unang move should always be parang for the government to act na they are trustworthy and stuff. Natatanda mo dati sa Pilipinas yung, I think matagal na to yung buong electoral database na hack, tapos nilabas na hacker yung, di ba? How would you trust the government kung sila mismo can't get their shit together? Like, they can't get people na magagaling to work for them and stuff like that. So, yung first move, yung first move would always be, if siguro the government, you can see something na worthy, well, it's difficult, pero at least yung first move na yung government is trustworthy, then it might be easier for the government to convince people na, okay, give us your credit card details.
Kung isipin mo naman, dito nga sa Australia, may medical tayo The license is enough na matrack ka talaga So they have your information.
Yeah.
It's stepping a little bit further, pero yun nga.
Ang saya, di ba? Nung na-experience natin yan dito sa Australia nung una tayong dumating. Driver's license lang. Lahat madali. Walang paperwork, wala kang pila sa NBI, hindi ka pipila sa police, di ba? Parang,
konektado lahat
anong driver's license mo? Yun ang number mo. Yun ang
napakadaling mag-open ng bangko sa Pilipinas kaya katakot-takot na points for identification ang kailangan mo bago ka pagbigyan.
Diba? Napaka-convenient. Yeah. And then yung sinabi mo nga na parang interconnectivity at siguro local hanggang medyo national, maganda rin talaga na yun nga. That's the best example na interconnected yung systems, mas madaling mag-decision, nakikita mo yung data ng tama, nakaka-decide appropriately. Kasi ako, definitely yung ginagawa ng Melbourne, hindi ko alam kung may mga nakikinig na mga taga-Melbourne, pero highly critical ako dun sa gano'n na parang merong 20 cases sa buong Melbourne sasara mo. Parang, I don't totally agree with that kind of approach. I'd rather have localized na parang ito, yung ginagawa ng New South Wales wherein localized ka lang na quarantine.
Check muna natin dito.
Oo.
See what happens.
Tingnan mo data, di ba? Kasi baka naman
ang tanong dyan is with all these things happening, sinesave ba o kinokollect ba ng government yung data? Para next time pwede kang mag-perform ng analytics and then be more informed kung anong gagawin mo. Let's say pag ni-lockdown ko tong local government na to,
anong result?
Ano yung effect? Ano yung effect sa economy? Kasi meron ka ng historical data di ba? Parang nung ni-lockdown ko halimbawa yung lahat ng northern beaches. Ano yung nangyari sa economy ng northern beaches? Ano yung nangyari sa income nila? Ano yung effect? So
at ano yung
na-save ba nila lahat yung information na yan? Yan yung tanong. And then, the next time it happens, parang next time it happens, pwede kang mag-perform ng analytics. Pag ginawa natin to ng ganito katagal, ganito yung kailangan natin sa government budget to support them for a while. And let's see what happens. Di ba?
Yung mga tipong, is it time to create, a new division ng government o itong data? If we do something like this, we're gonna save this amount of billions of, revenue and stuff like that. Or, yun nga, if Melbourne or yung mga ibang states, they decide to still do it that way, then you have data na parang, hindi nagwa-work yan yung mga tao nyo, lalo lang, di ba? Yeah.
Or something predictive with AI na parang i-feed in mo yung information. Ito yung nangyayari. Last 2 days, we have 22 cases, 33 cases. Dito sa area na to, ano yung suggested action at that point in time? I-lockdown lang ba yung local government o Greater Sydney lockdown tayo? And then, yun nga, trickle-down effect na, kumbaga.
Natatanda ako before ang ginamit ng yung unang mga months usually ginagamit nila yan sa yung mga data na ganyan ginagamit nila for parang modeling, di ba? Yung parang modeling. Etong COVID talagang sinira nito lahat ng modeling. I wish na parang we have the same sentiment. Sana sinisave nila yung data para to predict as a future COVID, down the line and stuff like
Historical data, at least meron ka. Alam mo kung ano yung nangyayari. Which is I doubt they're doing.
Medyo pessimistic tayo dun na parang they're too occupied with
malabo, tsaka kung isipin mo yung government, imagine mo government IT projects, gaano ka-relax yung mga yan. Parang 1 line of code per day yung mga yan
Oh my God.
So, or kung may kailangan kang gawin is yung lead time mo is napakahaba
Yung COVID,
dapat ang government patakbuhin parang agency na may deadline, na palaging may deadline para natatapos yung mga project.
Nagulat nga ako yung COVID app was it like 1 point something million to create? Parang, oh my God. It's a form.
Bilis, no?
Ni walang geo-tracking, geofencing, walang lahat ng, kasi because of, privacy, tas biglang 1 point something million dollars to create. Oh my God.
Well, gano'n naman talaga mga projects dito
Government.
Ang mamahal talaga ng mga projects. Yeah. Kailang minutes na tayo?
40 minutes. Pwede na tayong pa-ending.
Pwede na.
Ano ba pa natin?
Medyo okay naman yung usapan, yung flow natin ngayon.
Okay. Tech. Yun naman ang 40 nating dalawa kayo. Maganda-ganda po. So what do you think itong, there's just a few more days until, actually kakasimula pa lang yesterday. Another 12 days to go. Hindi ka papasok? You're just gonna stay from home?
Work from home.
Okay, so naka-lockdown ng city. You can't go to the city at the moment.
Pwede yata, pero I wouldn't risk it. Why bother? If we're locked down 2 weeks, then I'll just work from home. And majority of the time naman talaga work from home din ako. So,
yeah.
So hindi ako masyadong apektado.
Yeah. Pares tayo. So hopefully, after this lockdown, medyo umayos ng konti. Merong isang case na, may dalawang case na nadagdag since last night. Pero, if you were to look at yung dating mga trending ng mga ganyan, usually naman talaga medyo sana bumaba para hindi na mag-extended kasi yung toilet paper naubos na naman.
Panic buying na naman mga tao. Dito sa Jordan Springs, wala na halos.
Oh my God.
Groceries.
Yeah. Yun ang gusto si Pat, advance to palagi. Sa 5 days pa lang before, sinusundan na natin yung balita namili na kami ng lahat nag-panic buying kami 5 days before. Pero yung mga toilet paper, yung mga ganyan, kakaubusan na naman. Yung mga puti dapat, matuto na kayong gumamit ng tabo.
Hugasan mo na lang yung pet mo.
Oo, kamayin mo na lang. Di naman masama, may sabon naman.
Sa bahay ka naman
Toilet paper pa kayo. Yeah. So, yeah. So, try natin next time. Try natin next time na after the lockdown.
Bukas.
Yeah, mag-live tayo.
Yeah. May nakaplano ba kayong bakasyon na natamaan ng lockdown?
Oo, kasi 'di ba, ano ngayon
School
holidays. Oo,
Yeah.
maraming tinamaan.
Kayo?
We were supposed to go, may isa kaming camping that we were supposed to go to, tapos meron din kaming, tinitingnan namin, pupunta kami ng north. Pero, hirap din eh. Baka biglang inabutan ka ng lockdown dun sa mga ibang state. Matatrap ka dun, mahirap na...
Yeah, pero yung camping hindi ba pwede?
Well,
O pwede naman?
parang... Hindi ko alam eh, to be honest eh. Parang pwede, sabi nila, for recreational and physical, parang pwede. So siguro pwede nga.
Baka
Pero
pwede
yun
naman.
nga, like you said, why would you
Risk it.
risk it? Parang saka na lang. Saka na lang siguro.
Kami rin meron. Sana... Well, after nung scheduled
Napur na.
lockdown.
Napur na
Hindi naman...
staycation.
Yun yung today sana. Pero after nun, plano namin mag-snowies. So, which is
Yes.
naka-schedule naman after ng lockdown. So, sana tapos na yung lockdown by then.
Snowies.
Problema yan.
First time niyo ba family pumunta ng snows?
Second, first time si Dylan lang.
Nice.
Isa lang. Ngayon first time ni Elliot.
Nag-i-enjoy yan. Ayos.
Yeah. O siya.
Okay.
Sige na. At hanggang sa uulitin.
Alright. So again, yung mga nakinig ng podcast, nakinig dito, if you have any comments about what we said, I think we mentioned a lot about yung sa government, technology, and all of that stuff.
Privacy.
And then yung lockdowns, privacy, yung mga, and things to do on, baka meron kayong mga gustong sabihin, just comment on the comment section. And
Sa
then we'll try
nag-iisang
to
listener namin na nakaabot hanggang sa huli. Comment ka naman.
Sino ba yun? Meron ka na ba pangalan? Wala pa. Hahanapin kita. At bibigyan kita ng
Coupon for a toilet paper.
Dine and Discover coupon ang yung preview. So sige, salamat.
Okay,
and
sige.
To the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.